Welcome to Rocky's 2-minute warning as we head to the midway point of the NFL season. I guess it's become crunch time for a few teams. Jeremy, they were the darling of the league. Where are the Detroit Lions heading now that they've had 2 losses in a row?
They've lost 2 in a row, and at home. So, I don't know where they're going to go. You look at their schedule coming up. 3 of their next 4 games are in Chicago, then they got Green Bay and New Orleans, in Detroit. They haven't played Green Bay yet. They're going to play them twice. You got Tampa Bay and Atlanta looking like they could be wildcard teams. I think Detroit's going to have a tough time maybe making the playoffs.
So what's your call, in or out of the playoffs?
I'm going to call, given their schedule, their last game of the season is in Green Bay. I'm going to say they don't make it.
Well, another team that's going to be on the cusp, of course, is the Dallas Cowboys. This is a crunch week for them. They're playing an NFC East matchup in Philadelphia. And you just got to believe that right now Tony Romo has something to prove. Of course, he just announced they're expecting their first child. Maybe he's going to come out with an extra little bit of joy for his team. And Michael Vick and his group is just not looking like they're the team that they talked about.
So you're taking your Cowboys?
I'm taking the Cowboys this week.
What about Indy? Now, I know you picked Indy as an upset last week, and they almost squeaked it out.
Yeah, 62-7. Mea culpa. I'm not
picking them this weekend?
I'm not picking Indy again. In fact, it's quite the opposite with them. With Kerry Collins still out and Painter still as quarterback, I think they might be going in a contest against St. Louis and Miami to see who can get highly prized Stanford quarterback Andrew Luck. In other words, these 3 teams are going to suck for luck. Terrell Owens. Anybody going to pick him up?
Well, no one went to his little mini practice yesterday, but yeah, I guess by the end of the season someone will pick him up, yeah. If not, just sell a few tickets.
One more touchdown and he gets beyond Randy Moss for the all-time lead.
There you go.
Okay, so your short picks of the week.
I'm going to take Baltimore coming off a terrible loss on Monday night. Anytime them, like Pittsburgh, Chicago, anytime they go home after losing on the road, they almost always win. I guess the weak Arizona team too. I'm going to take the Giants at home against Miami. Miami's brutal. They're not going to beat anybody. I'm going to take New Orleans on the road at St. Louis.
And I'm going to go with Tennessee over Indianapolis, just for the reasons I just illustrated. The Houston Texans are looking incredibly strong, so I think they're going to knock off Jacksonville. And Minnesota continues to look weak, so I'm going to go with Carolina over Minnesota. And who's your upset?
I'm not convinced on this, but I'm going to take Pittsburgh over New England. Even though Brady's owned Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's 3rd in points allowed. This is a huge game. This could have big playoff implications as to who gets home field for the playoffs. But I think it's going to come down to those 2 teams. So I think there's a lot riding on this game. These guys know it.
Well, to all of our loyal New England fans out there who made their comments clear, well, my viewpoint last week on Tom Brady, I'm going with Tom Brady and the Pats this week. And my upset of the week is Kansas City, who looked so strong last week over Oakland. I think they're going to be able to knock off San Diego. Also on this week, we have the Millrats with their first preseason game. That goes Thursday night. And then on Friday, the Sea Dogs take on Cape Breton. And on Saturday, they take on Chicoutimi. Also, of course, Saturday night, the Rocky Girls will be dressed in costume, so drop on by for that.